What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Happy 2025. We are here. We are rolling once again for the first Tuffy Talk live show of 2025. And again, you got myself, Michael Tracy, Kins, Lane Smith, and Carson will be joining us here momentarily as well. Unfortunately, Greg will not be here today as he has strep throat, y'all. So thoughts to you, my man, for sure, Greg. I'm sure you're probably watching us, but probably not saying too much right now. At least that's at least what I would expect if I were having strep throat. Probably wouldn't be talking too much. But anyway, though, so hope everybody had a happy New Year, and let us know in the chat. I know we already got Michelle. Good Marvelous Monday, Wolfpack Nation. Appreciate you always tuning in here, Michelle. But anybody tuning in right now, we'd love to hear what was your favorite present for Christmas? What was your favorite gift that Santa brought you? Kens, what was your favorite gift that Santa brought you?
Well, that changed. It was tickets to our bowl game, but fired on me right afterwards. So yeah, 2025 and the end of 2024 has not been the best, but
nope. Yep. But oh well. But I mean, what would you say your second was then?
I don't even know. I got a lot of state stuff.
No kidding. So, yeah, for me,
that's always something people knows that they can get me, and I love it. So
that's true. Well, for me, it's easy. You probably see it back there behind me, but I got a little NC State neon sign. So you got the Block S and the Tuffy logo. So, yep. So I got a new addition for the man cave. But Michael, what about you, man?
I got an NC State baseball jersey, which we'll be using that when we play down here in Jacksonville. Well, in February. That's next month.
Yeah. I know we're like 40 days away from first pitch, so it's gonna be a good one. Looking forward to it. But anyway, so for today we are going to be doing a Festivus celebration, and first of all, I guess we got to really start off with the introduction of all introductions for Festivus.
But out of that, a new holiday was born, a Festivus for the rest of us.
A Festivus for the rest of us, even NC State fans. A Festivus for the rest of us. So
I think it kind of works out that we waited until now because there's a few more things that have made the list.
No kidding. Well, and I mean, saying that, so before kind of beating the comments, yes, Festivus is technically usually celebrated on December 23rd, but because of the holidays and stuff like that, just couldn't make it happen. But just like Michael said, it kind of worked out perfectly that we could, hold off to really add a few more grievances to that list. But Kens, before I mentioned it, did you know what Festivus was?
No.
Yeah,
I've never watched that show.
All right. Well, so basically, for those who haven't heard of it, for Kens, basically the idea is I kind of look at it as kind of the anti-Christmas, where instead of gathering for joy and celebration, it's basically to come together and basically air out our grievances from 2024. So like what really pissed us off. But technically, it's actually supposed to be airing out grievances about one another. Like, basically you're calling out family members at the table about what pissed you off that they did in 2024. But obviously, Michael, Kens, y'all did amazing this year. I love you guys. Y'all are perfect human beings in my eyes. So we're not gonna do it about each other. We're gonna do it about what really pissed us off from NC State, from ACC, from a college sports perspective. So already got Nick Pack fan, Wolfpack in the house. What's going on, Nick? Appreciate you tuning in, man. And Rusty saying recent Pack Inside article about Kevin Keys failing to follow the blueprint for success that worked last March, style of play, etc. Thoughts, Michael? I'm curious about your thoughts on this, man, because we'll kind of get into this into one grievance, but definitely there's been a few injuries in 2024 that have really been thorns in our side. Obviously, MJ Rice, where even if he was healthy, you're not necessarily sure if it would have really paid off anyway, but that definitely kind of held things back. And then you got Kaylin Weimer, who's not even on the roster anymore, which stinks because she was supposed to be the all ACC contender and be that piece that Westmore has been dying for ever since Elisa Cunane left. And then Mike James, the transfer from Louisville, averaged almost 13 points a game, and he hasn't even played one quarter, one play for NC State basketball this year, which has been a hurt piece. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that this is a failed blueprint?
Yeah, so I did read that article. I mean, it's there's a couple things, like if Keats was able to construct the roster again in the same way, I'd say that, but like it's impossible to replicate DJ Burns and what he gives you. And so I mean you couldn't play that same way just because you don't have that type of player.
Yeah.
But there are definitely aspects, the defense, that you could still play this year, the way the defensive intensity ramped up and kind of back off the full court pressure a little bit. It's tough. Like you brought in a couple guys from Louisville that I think you expected to be kind of your go-to guys because they proved it at an ACC level. And, one of them, like you said, hasn't even stepped foot on the court.
Yeah.
And then the other one has kind of been underwhelming, and you expected him. I mean, you didn't expect him to be DJ Burns, but you expected him to be a little bit more impactful than he has Brendan Huntley Hatfield. But I don't know. They're just missing the go-to guy at guard. I think you have a lot of guys that are good at one thing that are not really challenging the other teams all around. I think you're kind of hoping maybe Jaden Taylor takes another step. And then obviously I think Mike James really had the potential to be that guy, but yeah, that's kind of
it still can be, but definitely at this point in the season for sure. And the fact that he hasn't even suited up yet, definitely a struggle. And because TJ Play 10 said, does anyone know when he might actually play this season? And again, he had the UVA game, he wasn't even in uniform. So I mean, there's going to be a roll-up period of a sort. I mean, he's not going to come game one and play 30 minutes game one. There's going to be a ramp-up period for sure. So, but I mean, when the injury originally was disclosed, they had said 3 to 4 weeks, but that was back in late October, and obviously 2 months from that time, which is 8 weeks from that time, and he's still not even in uniform yet. So maybe it wasn't quite disclosed of actually how serious it was.
He also had a sickness like Ben did recently, and so they completely stopped his recovery to focus on him getting better. That's what Kevin said in a press conference. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how much we can believe that, but
yeah, I think it's becoming less and less likely you see him this year.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play this year.
which he's a junior, and he can get an injury redshirt too, so he can still get 2 more. He can still have 2 more years of eligibility after this, assuming the NCAA does what they're supposed to do. Which I mean,
I mean, he can get a regular redshirt because he hasn't played at all. So like,
that's true. Yeah, I forgot he hasn't used his redshirt yet. That's true.
Yeah.
Good point. So, yeah. But Nick saying, anyways, within basketball, yes, there are some changes needed to work on, some rebounding, work on finishing drives, and 3-point shots going in.
He's also at freaking free throws. Jesus Christ.
Free throws, yes. I mean, again, my father-in-law makes a joke all the time because he'll turn to me and go, they're called free throws, and
I don't understand how we're so bad at those, but.
Yep. Again, I mean, I've always said free throws is a mentality thing. It's just like taking care of the football in football, where it's a mental thing much more than it is a physical thing. And free throws is much more of a mental thing than it is a physical thing. And so that's my concern with it. But again, obviously, it's first of all, I want to go ahead and say for this year, no Kevin Keats hot seat conversations whatsoever. Those will not occur here whatsoever. He can lose every game for the rest of the year. It's not happening this year. Now, if this continues again next year, then we'll have a slight conversation. But I want to remind everybody once again, he just won his ACC title and went to the Final Four for the first time in a long time, just in 2024, not even 12 months ago. So,
we'll see.
You know, keep it on the steady here. Now, I honestly do. I do gotta say, Michael and Kansas. I mean, I have been very impressed where definitely there's been less Kevin Keats conversation tweets at this point this year than there was last year. So, I mean, I think.
I mean, obviously,
Wake Forest. I saw a lot more on Twitter after Saturday, but I still think that it's just that's how some fans are going to be if we lose any game. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They're going to go back to what we were. So it's like you just gotta take that like a grain of salt and just get over it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like he would have been fired if he didn't go on that run. If we lost to Louisville, that game we were losing in the second half.
Yeah.
Yep.
He would have been gone, and I think that would have been rightfully so at that point. But yeah, you know.
Honestly, I don't know how much you can blame on him after that game on Saturday. It's just I don't even think that was a coaching loss. I think that was a more of our guys just didn't play. They didn't play good at all from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Kens, and Dorn is the master at saying this, but it all falls on me. I'm the head coach. It all falls on me. So unfortunately, everything falls on Keats. Then it falls on him. He's the head coach. But yes, no, I do agree with you for sure. At the end of the day, he's not the one actually making the shots. At the end of the day, he's not the at the end of the day, his job is to put the guys in the best situation to win. And so
we couldn't hit anything on Saturday. So
go ahead, Michael.
I've always felt like he gets the I don't know. Some people may disagree, but always feel like he gets the most out of his players. I think the issue for him has been getting consistently a high level talent, and
correct.
You know, it came together last year, and because you did have a lot of talent with DJ Burns and DJ Horn and Mo and all those guys, and I think you just didn't replace that enough this year. And
I just think some
Mike James, but
I think some of our guys are off right now, and we're still waiting on them to get on. Like Michael O'Connell. Yeah. I mean, I'm still waiting on the Michael O'Connell we had last year. I don't know what's up, but some of our guys just seem like they're out of it or not how they were. So I'm hoping that changes, especially before Saturday.
Oh yeah.
That would help my 2025 be better if we could just beat UNC.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and that's coming up. Just like Rusty's saying right here, UNC coming up this week.
Buy your tickets.
That's right. Well, and you know, unfortunately for us right now, UNC is the most beatable they have been in a long time. This is the weakest UNC basketball team that they have had in a long time. It's been at least 30 years since they've had a team this soft. Now I'm not saying soft from a mentality perspective, but soft in terms of there are a lot of holes for sure, mostly around down low. You know, unfortunately for them, they're really missing Armando Bacot right now. And RJ Davis hasn't been what they've expected him to be. Elliot Cadeau been very solid for them for sure, but he can't. He has a hard time hitting. Say again.
Freshman. It's really been their freshman that have been.
Ian Jackson's been the guy. Yeah. So, but again, so I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm just saying for UNC standards, this is not your typical UNC basketball team.
Hubert's getting hot seat talk for sure.
No, absolutely. And Children reminding us, hey, we beat UNC the last time we played them ACC championship. So
and that was a way better team. Yep. We were a way better team too, but yeah.
Yep. And I hope we beat them on Saturday. Absolutely. Again, I think that would easily take off a lot of the heat on Keats. When I say a lot of it, I'm saying like the chunk that there is, like 95% of it would be gone if he could just pull off this win.
That's with anybody. I feel like that would just, I think, bring those guys back to, because that Wake Forest game, that's what I'm worried about. I'm glad we have a game on Wednesday and we're over that and we don't stay in that spot. But I'm just hoping we show up Wednesday so we go into Saturday with a positive mindset.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, though, but all this basketball talk takes us right into what I want to first speak about here during.
But out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us.
So the first grievance I want to lay out here for you, my friends, and let us know here in the chat too, y'all, what grievances y'all have as well. But the first one I want to mention is the grievance of specifically for men's basketball and baseball of 2024, saying, like, could you have shown us a little bit more of what you showed us in the postseason during the regular season? I mean, again, like men's basketball, think about where we were losing, getting embarrassed at Syracuse, and you're sitting here saying, oh my gosh, like season's done, wrap it up, like hang up the jerseys, it's done. But then you watch us in the ACC championship and the Final Four, and you're like, okay, like we figured it out. Like why did it take us this long to figure it out? So same thing here, and that'd be my one thing with Keats that would drive me nuts. Which I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to complain about it, but it's like,
I'm not complaining that we went before.
Yeah, no, I mean, just okay. Why didn't we figure out way earlier that we need to get the ball to DJ Burns every single offensive possession? Why did it take us that long to do that? Why didn't we figure out that we need Muhammad Diarra in as much as possible so he can go get us 12 to 14 rebounds a game? Like why didn't we figure out that Michael O'Connell needs to be running the show for us and helping DJ Horn and those guys be productive? Like why did it take us the postseason to figure that out? And then with the baseball side, I mean, again, a couple, just scratch your head losses for sure, a couple series losses that you were just, what the heck's going on here? And then you go to
we played
ACC tournament, exactly. Like, but then you go to Georgia and beat one of the top baseball players that college baseball players that we've seen in quite some time, and beat them on the road, at 2 out of 3. Like it's just, and in the World Series, I mean, even though we lost both the games, I mean, we were 1 run away from both games. Like we were extremely competitive. So, I mean, you could honestly argue that those 8 games we played in the postseason, like where was that consistency during the regular season? You had 8 games where we played really great baseball, and then just saw a lot of inconsistency during baseball season. Now again, it's baseball, inconsistency is a part of it, completely get that for sure. But so again, it's more of really the basketball side, just like why did it take us that long to get it figured out? But yeah, Michael, thoughts on that?
I mean, I think there's a lot of factors, obviously.
Absolutely.
Like we said earlier, I mean, we definitely changed the way we played defense.
Yep.
DJ Burns kind of had a shift in his game in the middle of the season. I mean, I think he got benched against Wake Forest. Like he didn't.
Yeah.
And kind of after that game, he kind of turned it around, and he started playing better. And yeah, some guys, you can't really explain it. Some guys just got hot. Like O'Connell, like shot 50% for 3 over like a 15 game. That's just crazy. Like sometimes that just happens. You made the right adjustments, guys played better. And it all just kind of came together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then my other grievance I also wanted to bring up as well is any UNC fan whatsoever that doesn't admit that we absolutely dominated them in every facet last year in men's basketball, women's basketball, football, baseball, you name it. Like we absolutely crushed UNC last year, and it was amazing. It was fun. It was a fun year for sure for NC State for sure. What up, Carson?
What up?
You, man.
Just got here, got back from getting my ticket for the UNC game. So excited.
Yeah, you gonna be there courtside, Carson?
Yeah, I was there getting some tickets with some friends, and we're gonna be in the section that's right behind the UNC bench. So we're gonna be chirping them.
As you should.
Good, I love it. But yeah, no. So Michael, specifically, talking about basketball here. I know you had one grievance as well. You want to share with the crew?
Oh, Bird Smith. Bird Smith will always be on this list. The worst rep. I mean,
he's definitely gotten in there with Jamie Lucky and TV Teddy. Honestly,
he literally. I think we petitioned the ACC to take him off our games, which we did. I don't think he roughed our games at all last year. Now he's back, but yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's almost kind of a routine thing that basically like if we were to write like a list of grievances each year, you just go ahead and put ACC refs and permanent marker, and then just erase the rest of it, and then just build out. I mean, ACC refs is always going to be, unfortunately, on this list for sure. Especially, I mean, the Jamie Lucky, Teddy Valentine, Bert Smith. It's just like, my God, can you guys retire already, please? Just some new blood.
I think Jamie Lucky's
Lucky, yeah.
Oh, sorry, but but like those are like
those guys,
synonymous. You know what I mean?
A week ago, I was like, I haven't seen him this year yet. Is that a good thing, or am I getting my hopes up?
No, TV Teddy, please just retire, man. I guess because wasn't he one the ref the Wake Forest fiasco, the home game last year for when basketball?
DJ gave the fingers, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
He gave the fingers too. Outside, I'm pretty sure.
True.
I'm not mistaken. Which a lot of us do. Like, you can't sit here and say that none of y'all in here haven't, because I sure have. So, it's just a thing.
So Rusty says my grievance is the screaming lady you hear on TV at all the men's games. Anybody else hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, she's in the band.
She's in the band. I love it.
Get mad at the band.
Yeah.
You just can't. So that's why no one stops her.
Well, here's my other grievance as well. Can we bring back the really, really good drum set players for the pep band at basketball? Like, just I don't know if it was one guy or if it was a couple guys, but I just feel like that the level because I mean, like that drum set runs the pep band for basketball, man. So therefore, whatever runs the pep band for basketball runs the game. And I'm just saying, but I don't know. That's small grievance for me. What were you saying, Ken?
Our student section, I don't know what it is. The student section in football and basketball lately has been absolutely terrible. They have. And it's sad to see, but I think also, like, we used to have balloons behind the goals for basketball. They used to give out towels. Like, it's like none of that is happening anymore. So I don't know if that's like a marketing issue, if that's like a money issue, which I don't see how, with how good we've been in football, and not this year, and then going to the Final Four in basketball. Like, it's frustrating to see, and I really want to understand why that suddenly changed. One of the should have been our biggest show off year after the Final Four, but the student section really hasn't shown up. The fans haven't really shown up. So I'm hoping Saturday changes that, but I haven't been impressed with any of the student sections so far this year, and it's sad.
Yeah, I know Carson, you specifically. Go ahead. Yeah, I want to build off that.
Really the only student section that I was actually impressed with was the Western Carolina game. Thursday night, I mean, you have students running. I mean, I'm always like waiting outside the line as soon as the gates open, so I'm always running in. But I mean, for the Western Carolina game, it just felt a bit different. And then from Northern Illinois onward, it just felt dead. No one was like, people were standing up, but no one was like actually jumping up and down. I was the only one that was jumping the whole time.
It's crazy. Yeah. So, but yeah, and I mean, I think also too, one grievance as well, which Michael, this was actually yours but this is also another one right under ACC refs that you can go ahead and put in permanent marker as well.
Yeah. These are in Sharpie.
Any new kickoffs, any year we have new kickoffs, it's disgusting. It's no bueno.
That might contribute to the student section, because I think for the Syracuse game it was pretty hype, but other than that, it wasn't not the same.
Well, and like another grievance as well is and we've talked about this before, but this is just like scream it in the face, and that is that the whole atmosphere for football games, period, even outside of student section, is just not. It's not there. Like, the music playing, the atmosphere, like the volume level, it's just not. It's not energetic. It's not one that in my opinion that really gets the best out of our crowd. And we've talked about that until we're blue in the face. But so I just say to everybody that when the Wolfpack Club sends you your survey asking you for feedback, please put that as your number one thing. First of all, bring the band back to where they need to be, because I mean, like, literally they have that in Carson, and y'all know this. They literally have that speaker there from when they had the student section leader still up there, and they've had it up there for 10 years, and it hasn't been used whatsoever. So just take that down, because it's just literally just a memento right now, and then just bring the band back, because literally the student section, we're talking about how student section is dead. Not having the band over there to lead them is probably a decent reason why the student section is not as hype as they were, because they're just lost without any leader whatsoever. So that's my two pieces to it. And that's a big grievance for me, but that's just one we've talked about so many times. It's not even something I really want to spend a lot of time on, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it. Any final thoughts on that, or we'll just leave it there?
I think we'll just leave it there.
Yeah. Sounds good. And how does TV Teddy still have a job? TJ Plays 10 says, I mean,
I don't think he's that bad. He's definitely like dramatic about his calls, but I don't think the actual calls are that bad from him.
Well, but again, Michael, I mean, you can't be this well known and be really good at your job. You're not like I yeah, that's just my thing. But yes, I do agree.
They don't call it infamous for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
True. But I mean, yes. I mean, I again, at the end of the day, Michael, I'm going to assume and trust that he still has a job, because per his bosses, he's doing a good job. But I'm just saying,
debatable.
I don't know about that. So, anyway, though, Cans, what's one of your grievances from last year?
In basketball or anything?
Anything. We'll go anything, but primarily earlier in the year, if possible, so we can kind of keep this somewhat chronological.
I would probably say, since we're already talking about basketball, like I was saying with baseball, and this isn't just last year, this is multiple years where we do so good in the postseason, but it's like during the ACC tournament games, we can't seem to play baseball. And it's really aggravating, because last year we didn't just lose, like we got our butts kicked. So it's like, that's what's aggravating to see, is like, I don't understand how after a week and a half, y'all can be on the road to Omaha, but then in the ACC tournament, where a lot of fans can go to, and we want to see y'all win that trophy, it's like they don't really play to their highest ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, because I mean, there's one coach that every single NC State fan, every single NC State coach would agree on, that if you had one coach to win an ACC, that you could choose to win an ACC title, it would be Elliott Avon. I mean, that guy's been here for the longest time. He's accomplished everything else that you can in a career, except for winning a conference championship. That is the only thing that's missing from his resume. He's been to, I believe, 7 or 8 different ACC tournament championship games and has lost every single one. So it's just, I just wonder if it's just, we're not quite putting the priority level on it that we need to. I don't know. It just, because I'm just trying to figure it out, just like the rest of us. I'm like, how can we, go to 2 College World Series within 5 years? How can we be a consistent top 20, top 25 team every single year? But in a game as up in the air as baseball, we just can't win a single ACC championship. It's crazy. It makes no sense. So,
especially when you've had, like, as you said, like 7 or 8 chances. I mean, that's just bad luck at this point.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, luckily enough now that, and see, that's what I'm saying. It's like all the small amount of hate of hot seat for Keats conversations there are. I mean, again, Keats winning that championship, in my opinion, took a little bit of pressure off the other sports. I'm not saying that, okay, don't worry, you don't need to win one now. You're fine. Like, no, you still need to win one, but now it's not like, please, somebody win it, please. It's like, okay, like we got one, like, sweet, appreciate it. That was good. But yeah, no, definitely, we'll see. But I mean, and midweek games, and Children saying those midweek baseball games when we got killed every time. I mean, midweek games, I don't know about you. I'm just not really a fan of midweek baseball games, period, really. I don't know. They're just, they're not anywhere the hype as at least for me, as a series, a weekend series, in my opinion.
Especially when it's just a one-off game and then it's done.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I just think those are so boring. I mean, it works in the MLB because that's just continuous, but college is different.
Very true. Yep. Michael, were you going to add something else to it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think they're good for, trying out different lineups because seeing different pitchers. But again, then like last year, if you don't actually take them seriously, like it can hurt you in the end.
Oh, absolutely.
When they're really, like you said, one-off games, that a series is much more indicative of the team. But it's good for local rivalries and stuff, playing all the different teams in North Carolina. So they're never going to go anywhere. But yeah,
it's like every other North Carolina team is good too. Like it's not like you're playing a nobody team for your one game.
Right. That's why they're tough for us.
Or like you're not going to ever get an easy one game experience.
That's the thing. That's why they should be series and not just 2 games. Like ECU, that should be that should be a series.
Yeah.
UNC Wilmington, that should be a series. Campbell, that should be a series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And we can afford it. Go ahead, Cans.
I forgot about Wilmington. I forgot they're good too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, literally. I mean, like even like a UNCG, for example, you can't sleep on them. I mean, they're at least competitive every single year for sure. So yeah, there's not a single team really in the state of North Carolina you can like, oh, that's an easy win. Like Elon, they upset number 1 Wake Forest last year.
Elon, UNCG,
even Elon. So in my opinion, like. And this might be a little bit of a hot take, but maybe a little bit. But I mean, in my opinion, North Carolina is to baseball what Texas is to football. Like, I mean, like that's our thing. I mean, just like you're saying, like every school, like a lot of big prospects come out of state of North Carolina. So just saying. So anyway, though, Carson, man. So we, I mean, I guess should we just kind of go ahead and just wrap football in one big present and just go ahead and just present it here as a grievance and just everything,
the whole season,
starting from game 1 through the bowl game,
from the first moment, like for about 3 seconds when Caden Foreman almost had that interception, everyone was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be so good, and then you just felt the crowd.
If he runs that back for a pick 6, I have no doubt we're in the
whole season's different.
Yeah.
If
no way we don't make it after that.
If Caden didn't get hurt, I feel like it would have been a completely different season. Like,
yeah, maybe, but I mean,
other than Bav on that defense.
Yeah, I mean, just again that Western Carolina game, we were down or tied heading into the fourth quarter. All the way through losing to effing ECU in the daggone Military Bowl. Like,
not shut up that entire drive back.
My God. gave up over 300 rushing yards to a team that lost to UNC Charlotte. Like,
Crazy.
what are we doing, guys? Like, come on.
It was so cold.
Yeah, no, and my grievance too is the fact I said, all right, I'm gonna give my wife, one. I'm gonna go with her down to Orlando, Florida, to go watch South Carolina, and we go in as 10-point favorites to freaking Illinois and lose that game as well. Even though we did get to see in person one of the most epic moments of the whole entire bowl season, which was Shane Beamer going after Brett Bielema, which was hilarious. Oh my God, that was epic. I've never seen something like that before.
My grievance for football was definitely coaches and play calling.
Play calling for sure. KC being absolutely non-existent every game except for Western Carolina. Grayson McCall with his injuries, but even before his injuries, not being what he was expected to be. Like unfortunately, just take every transfer pretty much for the most part, and just really no transfer except for DK Kaufman, who was a dog last year.
And Hollywood.
Jolie.
Yeah, Hollywood. Jolie, he should have been. But
he can't do nothing if he doesn't get targeted. Like, that's not his fault. But
yeah.
And that's another grievance I have. Why the hell did Hollywood Smothers not touch the ball the entire third quarter in our bowl game? Please, somebody explain that to me.
Well, okay, I can kind of explain it.
Please.
Please do.
We had 10 offensive plays in the third quarter. Like,
but
they held the ball a lot.
Well, but
and the drive we scored a touchdown on. So I mean, like, I get it, but yeah, it's a little over exaggerated. It's 10 plays, and on one drive we scored a touchdown without it. So,
but do you say, Michael, though, too, that if we would have given the guy who was rolling the ball, it would have been more than 10 plays? Would you agree with me on that?
I don't know. Not really. That was more of because ECU had the ball on 2 long drives. Like, the following drive after that was the start of the fourth quarter, and we gave the ball to Hollywood all 3 plays and scored another touchdown. I don't know. I think that's just a little being a little bit overblown because it's
well. All I'm saying, and at this point, like, this isn't really sharing insider information now. Like, I'm not saying who it's from or whatever. But going into the bowl game, it was pretty much a written thing that Anai was safe. He wasn't going anywhere. But then all of a sudden, he gets let go. And I mean, that was shocking to me. I was shocked. So all I'm saying, and again, like, how much of me saying that he was safe before the bowl game is actually true, I don't know, but I would assume it was probably on the side that he was safer rather than he was fighting for his job. And so therefore, something during that bowl game clicked for Doeren to be like, it's time for a change. It's time for a change. Something clicked.
I honestly think what clicked was when we went for it on 4th and 1 at the 25 and gave it right back to ECU. That one I don't understand. We're lucky that we got an interception right after, but that play, I genuinely couldn't comprehend our thought process behind that.
Yep, 100%. So
I think that's what clicked.
Yeah, but again, I mean, really for me now, because I mean, we could talk a lot about the transfers, and I mean, all right, here, before we even get into that, biggest grievance I got right now is in my opinion the state of college sports right now, specifically football. It really is just. I'm happy for the student athletes that they have more say in terms of what they do, where they play, making money off of their own name, image, likeness. I do like that, but I just don't like how business is being done right now. And again, I'm not talking about one specific player. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about everything in general. I just miss the days where with loyalty and how that was really a thing. Now loyal is just if you stay at a school for more than 1 year. That's really the definition of loyalty right now. And so I just, in my opinion, right now being a head football coach for college football, in my opinion, is one of the hardest jobs that there is right now. It's a guy can literally tell you, yeah, I'm in, and then leave for the next, an hour later. And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying, like, that's just an example. It's just there every year is like at least with like pro sports, for example, you can sign them to multi-year contracts. With college football or with college sports, it's not even 1-year contracts. It's 1-day contracts. Like they're like they can literally leave at any time and stop playing anytime. And are some of them justified? Sure, but also too, it's like these are still just young adults. They're still learning what it takes to be a professional, because that's what they are now. They're getting paid to play, and so they are by definition professional. So even though this isn't the professional college football league, I get that, but I mean, it's just like they're making huge decisions and not always for the right reasons. That's all I'm going to say. I just don't like how things are right now.
Yeah, and I think that falls more on the NCAA than
100% agree.
I mean, like, I think they're just looking out for their best interests.
Yes,
and like kind of like anybody does. People will jump from job to job, take the best opportunity they can.
Sure.
And it's just, if it doesn't work out, then that's a learning. That's something you gotta just learn from, right? And but I don't blame players for taking advantage of the system that the supposed governing body has put in place.
Well, go ahead, Cans.
I just don't get the reason of signing your name on a paper for an NIL saying you're coming back and then changing your mind a week and a half, 2 weeks later. Like, that's the only thing about the process that I really think is like the most effed up, is because like you put it saying you're committed to coming back and dedicated to this team, and then a week later you're like, actually, never mind, I'm out. I'll see y'all later.
I do think for sure one of the first things NCAA needs to do is put some kind of regulation in place where these deals are in a more contract form. Not necessarily that like you need like performance based or anything like that, but yeah, just like Kansas saying, like for the sake of schools, for the sake of the schools, for the sake of the coaches, like that, if you say you're in, you are in, period. And that if you choose to sit out a certain amount of games, you lose a certain percentage based off of how many games you decide on your own to sit out. And yes, am I saying it needs to be exactly that? No, but I'm just saying like just there needs to be a slight regulation because I think a little bit too is kind of in my opinion, to help the players in the side of, like you were saying, Michael, that like for us, for example, who have full-time jobs, that we always are looking for the next best offer, and that's 100% justified. But the problem is that we as professional business professionals have hopefully a 30, 35, 40, 50 year career, potentially to figure that out and make mistakes, learn from them and develop them. But unfortunately for these student athletes, they have 4 to 5 years max to make the best of their opportunity. So unfortunately, every single decision they make is magnified by 1,000, because now you're taking away what to us is 10 years for a 1-year decision they're making. You see what I'm saying? So that's just my thing. And again, it's a huge decision. There's a lot of people that are involved in those decisions on their side. I guarantee you family, friends are 100% in that conversation for sure. So again, I'm not talking specifics whatsoever. I'm just saying that the state of college football, in my opinion, is not where it needs to be. Carson, you have any final thoughts on that before we move on to another one?
Yeah, it seems like the NCAA is just pretty much throwing everything out there and pretty much just letting everything happen, and they're not doing anything about it.
Yep. Nope.
I mean, the literal definition of something being legal is that the regulating body can control it better, and we've seen none of that from the NCAA, really.
Yeah, because I mean, anything they try to make, somebody just sues them, and then the courts side with the players, because that's how the system works.
Exactly right. No, absolutely. Michelle saying not regulating NIL is an appropriate manner is one of my biggest grievances for football. I mean, technically it affects all sports, period, but I mean, it's really focused mostly on football side. So yeah.
Look at what's happened in ACC basketball. You have Larinaga stepping down just a week ago, and then Tony Bennett stepped down before the season. I mean, two Hall of Fame coaches.
Yep. Just said, I mean, well, because again, I mean, he said it best. After their Final Four run, he had 5 guys enter the transfer portal. Like, wait, wait a second. We just went to the Final Four. Like, don't you guys want to come back and be like, hey, if we do this again, we can go right back there and we can go win it all. But instead, they say, no, I'm going to go somewhere. I can go make more money. And then, again, I'm not talking specific examples, but but just again, it's not what it was. I mean, look at the Wake Forest football coach. Just I truly do say there's a reason why head coaches are getting younger and younger, because it is running on a treadmill at level 12, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I can
That's really
also
what it is.
give an example as to why it's okay to wait and like stick with the team even if you're not starting. Breon Pass is literally the prime example of that. Like Breon Pass waited his turn for years. And I mean, you're just not going to find athletes like that anymore. And that's what's sad. Like Breon is a rare occurrence where he's going to stick to where he loves being a part of this team, loves this university, and is going to wait his turn and then end up being arguably our best player on our team right now. And it's like that you're just not going to find those athletes anymore. And I think that's sad, but.
Well, and Michael, let me lay this out for you, man. Just in this, because this is one that hits to home because of where my wife went to school. But literally, there's a quarterback for South Carolina next year that's going to be a redshirt sophomore that's going to make $3 million. $3 million. What, a 19, 20-year-old young adult making $3 million in 1 year to play football. Like, and on top of that, get scholarships and you name it. And again, I'm not putting that on Sellers. I'm saying, hey, Sellers, good for you. But I'm saying,
Right.
It's just crazy. It's insane that somebody like we talked about it when the NIL came out, saying those Pop Warner games are now going to be way more important. And now these kids are making $3 million a year potentially. Like, yes, those Pop Warner games. I mean, yeah, they're not just, they're just having fun. No, nope. You're in 10 years from now, you could be making, agreements to make 6-figure deals a year to play football. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like.
I mean, Faison Brandon's getting paid crap ton by Tennessee. So
yeah, before he even steps foot on the college field.
I mean, as an 18-year-old, would anybody really turn that down? I mean,
no. I mean, if somebody's willing to pay you that, like, I don't know. If that's your value, that's your value. It's like I said, I can't blame the players for
no
people offering them
this
money. It's just
I just refuse
it's
to
mind
buy
blowing
a jersey for my team because I'm never gonna know if that person's gonna be there, like or until the next year.
Well, and I mean, and I mean, for Sellers, I'm saying, listen, because I told my wife, I said, like Sellers for South Carolina is going to be a borderline Heisman candidate next year. So, however much it costs to keep him, you're paying every single bit of it. And same thing for us with CJ Bailey. It's not obviously to the extent because he's more likely not going to be a Heisman candidate next year, but
he is. What? Don't disrespect CJ. There will be no CJ slander in this chat.
Hey, I mean, but yes. Do I think? But here's my thing. He showed plenty this year to show that he has extreme promise. And so, if we are going to build a team for next year, you got to have that quarterback solidified. And a guy like CJ, with as young as he is, with as talented as he is, and the fact that he's already been here is extremely valuable. So, yes, are we paying probably a premium to keep him here? Yeah, probably. But listen, at the end of the day, if that's what it costs in order for us to be competitive for next year, that's what it costs. We got to pony it up. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, next year is also revenue sharing kicks in. So
right.
That's it's on top of NIL. So it's not, that's going to be coming from the university itself, who, for years has had this money to pay the players. They've just spent it in other ways that they're going to have to cut back on.
That's right.
Yep.
And I mean, Benjamin coming out here with a bold take saying the offense next year will be hands down the best offense that we've had since the Finley days. So
I can see that.
I mean, I can see it. But
I mean, we saw it last year too.
I mean, oh yeah, 100%.
Going into this season.
Oh, easily.
We just got
yeah.
like show it.
Yeah, you can see anything in the preseason.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, it should be. Yeah, I'm.
Yeah,
I'm
that's how it should work.
He said himself that our offense was going to be unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not
And Children saying rumors are we got CJ for a quote unquote reasonable price. Yeah. I mean, I mean, being that the top quarterbacks can pay $3 million for 1 year. Yeah. I mean,
I think yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, anyway, though, and let's see, women's basketball wise, I mean, can we just talk about, you can do a big piece of it around Caitlin Weimer, but really the whole grievances around just women's basketball period right now, like just inconsistent as heck. But I mean, the Boston College game, gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, all four your best players were phenomenal. Madison Hayes, Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers, all fantastic. But again,
6 players in double figures.
Yep. 6 players in double figures. Yep. But unfortunately, once again, I've said it before, I will say it again. If you are going to beat the top talent, the top teams in the country, you got to have that dominant center. And unfortunately, right now, again, I mean, like Tota looked solid, but she's just still very raw. She's still developing. And we tried it with Awu. We figured out hopefully that Collier is just not going to be it. But again, it's just went into this year with so much hype for sure, and so far it is like you see it, like it's like a car just like just trying to get going. It's going bump 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 bump. It's like you see it. You're like, I see
you
potential.
See the potential, yeah,
but it's just not coming through. So
and they suck at free throws too.
Yes,
it's like
it's every one of our basketball teams suck at free throws.
It's like not many teams you can say are like one player away. Like the men's basketball team is very, very far from one player away, but the women's team is literally one player away. Like if you just had a reliable center, serviceable, that could,
if we could have had
on the ball
for one more year, I feel like River Baldwin, team, this would be the year.
Yeah. For sure.
If we're making picks, Elisa Cunane, if she came back for 1 year.
She came back.
We're talking about like actually picking players.
Yeah. No, I think that River fit meshed for what that team needed very well for sure. But yeah, I mean, I definitely had higher expectations for Caitlin this year for sure. Being especially more of the rebounding and the defensive threat more than River could really bring you. So, but yeah. But again, just West we trust, obviously, love the future with this program. With Zoe Brooks, with Quigley, with the talent that we have is extremely exciting for sure. But we've said it before that like this is gonna be your last year with your big three, Madison Hayes, Isaiah James, and Sanaya Rivers. And this should be a team that's competing for ACC title, competing for Sweet 16, Elite 8. But I'm not sold on it yet. But anyway, though, Carson, you got another grievance, man, for 2024?
Yeah, this one is for football. We've not talked about it yet, but it seems that for every game where we're not playing Carolina, we do not bring any sort of intensity whatsoever.
Yep.
I think the players and the coaches need to understand UNC is our biggest rival. They are not our only rival. Wake Forest is a rival. Duke is a rival. Clemson is a rival. ECU is a rival. I saw very little pride and passion from the players when we were playing those teams. And you need that. You need to play emotional in football. If you do not play emotional in football, you are not going to win.
If we played like we did every game, like we do against Carolina, it would be an entire different end of season record. And I still do not.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a lot of that, I think a lot of that goes back to more so the leaders, the player leaders, more so than the coach leaders, because in the previous years you've had those player leaders like Peyton Wilson, like Drake Thomas, like Isaiah Moore.
Everybody, like you're bringing intensity against anybody.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no. I mean, Choke coming out here saying a win against Georgia Tech counts as much as a win against UNC.
Yep.
In football, yeah.
UNC gives you one win. Georgia Tech gives you one win.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But I mean, you know, it's and here's my thing too is that, you know, next year, like I'm telling you, it's going to be, in my opinion, a program changing year. Either like it's going to be
one way or the other
for the football program. Exactly. I mean, just not only just with, you know, now this has been going to be 2 years with a pretty sizable NIL purse that has been invested in this football team, and you look at next year, and you know, just offense alone, you're saying, okay, that offense alone should put you in a competitive situation for every single game you face. Now, defensively, you got to figure some things out for sure. Definitely it's going to be interesting with this new defensive coordinator, but also too, schedule-wise, it's going to be tougher than it was this past year. Shocker there. And, you know, the big, not even cherry on top, I would say, you know, the ginormous chocolate chip cookie you have on top is that Bill Belichick and UNC is coming to town, coming to your house. And I guarantee you that if it's been a so-and-so or last season up until that point, and you lose to Bill Belichick in his first year, and guarantee you're going to see UNC plant their flag on our field, it's I love Doran to death. Love Doran to death. There, I'm just being realistic. At the end of the day, it's
a big season.
We got to move. We got to move.
And
so,
but can you imagine Dave Doran beating Bill Belichick?
Oh, 100%. He should. He should, and I expect it. And yeah, again, I'm. And oh my gosh, that is the biggest grievance of all. Can we stop getting Bill Belichick on every single Pat McAfee show, every single First Take show, every single podcast on ESPN? Like, oh my gosh, man, like, hey Bill, have you taken any good poops recently? Like, I mean, like that's basically what it's been. It is. Oh my God.
I'm pretty fine if he's more focused on doing that than actually coaching.
I was going to say that too.
I agree, but it's just like, oh my gosh, like,
no, I get it.
Yeah, no. And I mean, Michelle basically rebuked exactly what I said there. And then Joe's saying, please, Lord, let the offense cook. Yes, please.
I think the offense will be good. I think it'll be good.
I think it'll be better than last year because you have a lot of the players that are more familiar with each other going in.
Yep.
Well, again, at this point, they're like, I think you have now you don't have now what I feel like you had last year that I was concerned about, which was having too many options, trying to figure it out. Who are your guys? Who are not your guys? Like now you've kind of, in my opinion, trimmed some of the fat. Now, I'm not saying fat in terms of not good players, whatever that may means. I'm just saying now the guys that you have here are guys that you know you could be productive with. You know how they are effective. You know the best way to use them. You have the same quarterback, same coach who was going to be your offensive coordinator and Kurt Roper, the same, head coach. So, I mean, in my opinion, it should be a build off and nothing less from this past year. And so yes, 100%.
We get to see guys like Anderson and Paylor actually be able to play.
Yeah, where was Paylor for the bowl game? I just
one time, and that was it.
Played like 3 plays or something.
Yeah, just see, see what you got.
Like there's so much about him with it, like not just State. Like everybody had so many things to say about him. Let that man play.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Especially in a bowl game where it's basically just a scrimmage.
Yeah.
So
right. No, 100%. Well, this guy was a top 100 recruit 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, and especially too when KC left and he wasn't going to play, it was like, well, you're going to put Paylor in because I mean he can be everything that KC was and then some. He could be better because he's more built. Now, obviously we could talk about Casey's choice and going to Texas A&M for sure, which is,
I'm telling you right now, that man would have went
pretty
to
obvious.
Yeah.
There would have been a hit put out on him if he'd have went to Chapel Hill.
No, that was yeah.
He probably would have gone there if he got offered the most money.
Yeah,
but
that was an agent play to say he's visiting them to get them more money. Yeah.
Oh, totally. No, 100%.
I don't think he never even made it there, did he? He committed.
No, that was a complete. He didn't even make UNC didn't even make his top 6. So that was a complete play. But also too, like the fact how now commitments are announced by agents instead of by the players directly. Like, have y'all noticed that? Like agent so and so is announced.
A dude from Temple today, wasn't it?
Yeah. His agent told IPS that he's committing. Yep. So, any word on when Zamaria Jones will return?
I interviewed Wes after the game yesterday. He didn't give any updates.
Okay. All right. So
yeah,
we'll take that for what it is. But yeah,
he said it's basically just a day-to-day process.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, is her thumb, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that's just kind of one of those things that it's like
takes time.
You have to feel it out once you're comfortable,
Yep. Exactly. So anyway, though, and Michelle saying the coaches always seem to coach scared, always scared to play a young player with no experience, talking about football with Taylor. Because that's the thing is that they had no issue putting Terrell Anderson out there. Why didn't they have that much confidence in giving Taylor a shot? I don't know, but we could talk about till we're blue in the face. So, anyway, Ken, you got any final grievances here before we wrap this up?
I think I'm all. NC State wise, no. Personally, yes, but I think I'm all grievance.
That's for another podcast.
Well, and we'll wrap this one into it. Even though it technically wasn't 2024, but it's a big grievance that's happened in 2025 for sure. Obviously, Ripken the dog passing away. Just
cry. Do not bring him up.
Oh,
I cried.
Wow. That was.
I didn't care about a single portal entry. I saw Ripken, and they all was like, I don't care if they all leave. Bring him back.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken. Does anyone know what happened? Are they not saying?
They said
unexpected.
Complications with a undiagnosed medical condition or something. So he must have been sick, and they didn't realize it. And
that really broke me for real. Like that just made me realize 2025 is gonna suck.
No, because like it must have been sudden because like it's not like he was an old dog. He was out there.
He was literally
everything.
The Panthers a week and a half ago.
Panthers game, yeah. So,
I was
something sudden.
I was so hurt when I saw that. And another grievance, since we're talking about Ripken, ECU fans, honestly, if I could cuss on here, I freaking would. I can't stand them. Oh my God, they pissed me off.
If I could put a permanent black cloud over Greenville, North Carolina,
yes,
I would do it.
My God, they pissed me off. Yeah. It's almost as bad as UNC. It really is.
No, they have the power to make UNC fans look like saints.
What they said about Ripken, if I ever see one, I'm punching them in their throat.
Yeah, I know.
Including my mother. I'm just kidding.
Michelle saying Ripken was 8 years old. So yeah, pretty young for a dog his size. But anyway, so Michael Carson, any final grievances for either of y'all?
No, I don't think so. I'm sure I could think of a list of a lot more, but
right.
Sure. Can't we all? So, but either way, Wolfpack Nation, really appreciate y'all tuning in here again. 2025. Hopefully we'll turn around and be a great year for sure. I know it hasn't started off the best, obviously, with the Ripken news mostly, but a lot of potential. And so we're excited to see it. But Wolfpack Nation, if you haven't already, make sure again, give us a follow, Tuffy Talk now, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and make sure to also hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like button as well. And again, just really appreciate y'all. Love you all for sure, and hope you all had an awesome holidays and a happy new year. And we'll talk to y'all soon. But with that being said, as always, go Pack, y'all.